And Thursday evening, as Chicago's former mayor, who was hired to investigate Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard's administration, revealed the shocking spending of taxpayer dollars.
Drama in Dalton. Credit card transactions amounting to thousands of dollars without explanation and millions more owed to vendors.
A bombshell report highlights just how much financial trouble the village of Dalton is really.
They say the village is facing financial disaster and they blame the mayor for mismanagement. She says this.
The recent revelation by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot about a far deeper fiscal crisis than anticipated has sent shockwaves through Dalton and Thornton Township. Already struggling with severe financial difficulties, the community, burdened by millions in debt, has grown increasingly frustrated, with many residents demanding the resignation of Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard and Thornton Township Supervisor Henyard, who has been accused of financial mismanagement, corruption, and favoritism, has shown little remorse for her controversial actions, including embezzlement and the misuse of public funds. Despite public protests and outcry, she has dismissed concerns, deepening the community's mistrust. The announcement of an FBI investigation into her conduct has further fueled local anxiety, casting a shadow over her leadership. Henyard's tenure has been marked by extravagant spending, including lavish taxpayer-funded trips and a questionable $85,000 audit, leading many to fear she will leave the township in financial ruin. Lightfoot's financial analysis uncovered a shocking $36 million missing from Dalton's general fund, amplifying public outrage as critical services like food assistance, senior programs, and transportation have been severely impacted by her decisions. Amid calls for a leadership overhaul, residents are looking to the FBI investigation as a potential path to justice. Henyard's repeated absences from key meetings, especially concerning the insurance crisis, have only reinforced the perception of her neglecting the community's needs as opposition to her grows. Many believe a new direction is necessary to restore stability and rebuild the township, with widespread calls for her resignation reflecting the urgent need for change.
Sources that federal agents are in fact interviewing witnesses as part of a possible investigation that may or may.
The controversy surrounding Tiffany Henyard intensified as local business owners accused her administration of selectively targeting their companies for not supporting her political events, creating an environment of fear and retaliation. Business owners claimed that refusing to align with Henyard led to arbitrary fines, harsh regulatory actions, and even forced closures, portraying a government more focused on personal and political agendas than on fostering a healthy local economy. These allegations, coupled with mounting evidence of financial mismanagement and misconduct, further eroded public trust in Henyard's leadership. Residents increasingly accused her of prioritizing personal interests over the community's well-being, and her already strained relationship with the business sector worsened, sparking calls for greater transparency and accountability. Despite the growing backlash, Henyard dismissed the accusations as baseless and refused to engage meaningfully with her critics, fueling further frustration and deepening divisions. As more evidence of power abuse, financial mismanagement, and retaliation surfaced, many concluded that her time in office had become untenable, with her leadership seen as disconnected from the needs of the community. With public trust plummeting and calls for her resignation growing louder, speculation mounted over whether her administration could survive or if it was headed for collapse under the weight of its own mismanagement.
Both of the Dalton bars that were raided and shut down last night, we visited the day before as part of our ongoing investigation into allegations of political corruption in Dalton.
They just rushed in here, put police at the front of the door like they was doing a raid on a drug house.
A team of Dalton police officers raided and shut down Pablo's Bar and Cafe and Rinky's Bar and Cafe, both located on Sibley, about a block apart.
Everything going peacefully. Nothing going on. This is like 10 police cars came in and they start pushing customers from here.
The controversy surrounding Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard intensified as local business owners accused her administration of harassment, claiming their licenses were revoked despite operating legally, costing them jobs and revenue. The situation took a dramatic turn when former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot was appointed to investigate Henyard's alleged misconduct. But Henyard swiftly dismissed the investigation as politically motivated and a smear campaign. As the investigation unfolded, it uncovered evidence of embezzlement and financial mismanagement, including extravagant spending on travel and personal perks at taxpayers' expense, leading to significant deficits and irregularities. Despite mounting evidence, Henyard continued to reject the findings and blamed the village trustees for Dalton's financial troubles, which only deepened the community's distrust. The investigation revealed a pattern of waste, lack of transparency, and unethical behavior which further eroded public trust in Henyard's leadership. Calls for her resignation grew louder, but Henyard doubled down on her denials, refusing to take responsibility and exacerbating the perception that she was unwilling to address the issues plaguing her administration. Amid growing scandal, the Board of Trustees passed a resolution demanding Henyard release the village's financial records and reject her call for a federal investigation, which many saw as an attempt to deflect blame. The trustees' overwhelming vote to reject her request signaled their commitment to local control and accountability, as they pushed for urgent reforms to restore stability to a government shaken by scandal. For residents, Henyard's actions were seen as further evidence of her failure to govern effectively, and the community's focus shifted to addressing the root causes of the town's financial crises, instead of being distracted by her attempts to shift blame.
To the secret store meetings, yes, that the Board of Trustees have.
The trustees vowed to override her veto. One of them, Kiana Belcher, sitting at the meeting with her portrait because she says it was removed from the wall of Village Hall.
And this is just a process to drag it along, but everybody sees what's going on.
The village, under Henyard's leadership, is cracking down on access, pushing media at tonight's meeting to the very back of the room, almost out of sight of public comment from residents. But their voices were loud and clear.
Everybody cares about the person that's making a mess.
Henyard placing the blame elsewhere.
But only judge when you got both sides of the story, not one.
Frustration among Dalton residents grew as they accused Mayor Tiffany Henyard of betraying them, with one resident demanding she step down, saying, "You lied to us as residents. You don't stand for me, and I want you to step down as mayor today and save our village from the deficit you caused." Others criticized her leadership, pointing out her failure to take responsibility, with one stating, "The mayor can blame everyone else for what's happening, but she needs to look at herself." Under Henyard, the village became increasingly insular. With media access limited and public comment downplayed, Henyard continued to defend herself, dismissing criticism as discrimination and focusing on her self-portrayal as the village's leader. Despite mounting allegations of financial misconduct, her infamous Las Vegas trip, where she allegedly spent taxpayer money on extravagant expenses, went unaddressed, and she emphasized her contributions like $1 million rent assistance program while the village's finances deteriorated. A $365 million deficit, embezzlement of funds, and rising spending including questionable police department expenses and unauthorized checks totaling millions, revealed a troubling pattern of financial mismanagement. Despite Henyard's claims of fake news, one official candidly acknowledged the crisis, saying, "I knew we were broke, and I broke it down so the other residents could hear what was really going on." Efforts to reach Henyard for comment were unsuccessful, and the village's operations continued to spiral into disarray, with missing receipts for large purchases and unanswered questions about her absence from the PAC Community Center during a trustees' meeting. It became clear that Henyard's actions were far from those of a leader serving the people. Instead, she was accused of using public funds to fund a lavish lifestyle, exposing a deep disregard for the community's well-being.
His credit card spending is out of control. Mayor Tiffany Henyard didn't respond to any of my requests today, and I'm told she's not in the building. No response to repeated interview requests. I tried to track down Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard in person today. Village employees told me she wasn't in the office and didn't say when she would be. A day after this. A packed community meeting.
At a recent board meeting, community members demanded accountability for the financial mismanagement under Mayor Tiffany Henyard's leadership, while Henyard's criminal defense attorneys, By Brinley and Ed McDavid, sat alongside the village's legal team, signaling her preparations for a lengthy legal battle amid the ongoing FBI corruption investigation. Henyard maintained her innocence, accusing the village trustees of wasting public funds on the investigation and portraying herself as the only one working to serve the community. Despite the growing controversy, things took a further turn when Henyard appointed N.S. Lacey, a former member of her administration fired for misconduct and facing serious legal charges, to an influential position, prompting accusations that the appointment was illegal and part of a broader effort to tarnish her administration. The situation worsened when Henyard hired Michael A. Smith, a controversial South suburban politician with a troubling past as a top assistant lobbyist, paying him $100,000 annually. Smith's history of legal issues, including charges of official misconduct and domestic violence, raised alarm bells but did not deter Henyard from appointing him without seeking outside approval. These controversial decisions combined with the FBI investigation and ongoing financial mismanagement, only deepened community frustration, leading many to question her ability to lead. Despite mounting calls for her resignation, Henyard refused to step down, further alienating the community and making her position as mayor increasingly untenable. The investigation and growing unrest left many wondering how much longer Henyard could hold onto her office.